In my video on corn addiction, I did a little segment where I went into Cornhub, not that Cornhub, the real Cornhub, their 2023 year in review. For that segment, I didn't go over everything, just the funniest stuff. The next video will be on TMI, the dick size episode. But that video is going to take quite a while. It's one of the biggest videos I've ever done, so I figured to tide you over, I would do the full breakdown of Cornhub's 2023 year in review. In 2023, size was on people's minds. The category Big Tits grew by 31% worldwide. Additionally, the Big Ass and Big Dick categories were two of the longest viewed this year, both increasing by 90 seconds in 2023 to over 14 minutes view time each, compared to the average visitor's time on site of 10 minutes and 9 seconds. For searches, the terms big, bigger, and biggest collectively grew by 177% worldwide. Searches containing huge grew by 67%, led by huge tits, huge cock, and huge dildo. On top of all that, the term massive grew by an impressive 91%. That's kind of surprising. I don't think I've ever used the word massive in my search queries on that site, so it's interesting to learn that more people are using it than I thought, I guess. It's kind of corny. Some of the biggest searches were world's biggest cock, which more than doubled at 102%, and, well, I'm not gonna read that one, but it came out 49% ahead. Now this is interesting. The top trending search, Android, grew by 1,689%, including terms like Android cosplay and Android roleplay. Android. I think the AI bump is affecting corn as well. As soon as AI happened, we all knew the first use of it would be corn, so it's not a huge surprise. Robot searches like sex robot and 3D robot grew 304%. Machine, sex machine up 88%. Even the term NPC searches grew 1541%, along with an overall increase in video game related searches. On that note, video game and hentai. A lot of people in the comments section on that original video brought up the fact that hentai is actually more morally correct because typical corn has a history of abuse, and hentai is completely made up, and the only abuse that's possible is voice actors being underpaid or not paid at all. And I guess I would sort of agree. I think hentai has a bigger issue with size, and it's more of a slippery slope for getting into types of corn that are more unhealthy for you, like furry corn, which we didn't even cover. But normal corn is more bad for the people involved. Worldwide, therapy searches were up 344% this year. Guys, so proud of you. You're searching up therapy, you're getting help, just like I told you to. All joking aside, that is hilarious but also concerning. All of these are jumping in the triple digits. Dr. Lori Batito made a comment on this fact, that the therapist section is growing. She says, "I find it interesting that therapy is a corn search word. More and more people, thankfully, are seeking help for mental health and sexual issues, which is great. However, at the same time, fantasies involving a patient-therapist relationship turned sexual is quite common, probably because it is taboo and involves a power differential. In real life, clients can experience feelings for a therapist, transference, because of the nature of the relationship. The client shares very intimate details of their life and feels safe. And this can turn into fantasies of a sexual nature. The forbidden nature of the relationship may also fuel this fantasy." This is actually something that I didn't get to mention in that original video, but I wanted to. A lot of the reason we have these fantasies in corn, the reason some fantasies are prevalent and some are less prevalent, is because the more prevalent ones involve two things. One, a state of comfort and safety, like going into someone's home, bedroom, bathroom, and two, it involves a power differential. This could be shown in a big age difference, where one is dominant and the other is submissive. All interesting things to think about. Now, this is the most searched for terms of 2023. I already went over these a little bit, but we're going to get into ones that we didn't really talk about. Now, of course, top of the list, hentai. Yep, we already talked about that. Third is lesbian, which we already established. A lot of straight women watch lesbian corn. You can infer certain conclusions from lesbian being number 3. Japanese, still at the top. Now this word, I don't know what that means.
Huh?
I genuinely don't know, so I'm gonna have to Google it. A woman of Filipino origin or descent. A Filipina. That is interesting, and I don't know why they're so high on the list. Oh, that's why. We'll get into it later, but the Philippines have an elevated role in this year in review, which we'll talk about. Anime is up 4 points at about midway through the list, and animation is near the bottom, but these still are the most searched for terms. So it's at the bottom of the top list, so still at the top. Now the United States most searched for terms, compared to the overall worldwide most searched for terms. At number 1 is lesbian. Lesbian and hentai basically switched places. And the rest of the list proceeds pretty much as normal. Now this is a big one. This is the full map of the United States top relative searches by state. So again, this is the terms searched more often in each state when compared to all others, not the most searched term in each state. We already went over the funny ones, but here's the full list, uncensored. Washington, sensual sex. Sensual just means very slow, passionate. Oregon is nudist. You can find very easily articles about a lot of public nudity and a nudist subculture in Oregon. Nevada is Vegas, which I don't think I need to break that one down. I think there was one commenter on that video talking about how Vegas, they grew up around Vegas, and it was just all over the place. Never been there, but I can believe it. Now, Idaho's is dildo ride. I mean, Idaho kind of looks like a dildo, so Montana with the BDSM. All those farmers, they're getting up to some shit over there. That is bewildering to me. I know not everyone in Montana is a farmer. That is a brash generalization. That's just funny. I don't know why. Two of them that really kind of make me disappointed is Utah and New Mexico. I'll put them up on the screen. I'm not going to go too much into them, but you can see why I'd have some discomfort discussing the implications of these search terms. Oklahoma's is just confusing. Sex dick. Like, what does that even mean? Yeah, the hope is I get to use it when I'm having sex, I suppose. Nebraska's is rub, which might be the most boring ever, even ahead of Louisiana's boring BBC. Like, what? Rub? You making a steak, or are you getting your rocks off? Of course, Iowa with the cartoon. Shout out. Missouri has transformation, which isn't there something weird about Missouri? I don't know. There's something about Missouri that's just giving me a weird vibe with transformation. Not in a transphobic way, just in a general vibe. Mississippi with the furry. A lot of furry conventions held down there. Tennessee, giantess. I think we all know Tennessee's favorite DreamWorks movie. That's all I'm gonna say. We already went over Pennsylvania's big boobies, but Kentucky, bouncing boobs, so guess that's something they share in common. Virginia is smoking, which, how do you make smoking corn? Like, just the actors are smoking? We'll actually learn in the TMI video coming up that smoking makes your dick look smaller. Kind of a weird thing to search for specifically. South Carolina is high heels. Honestly, yeah, I can see that. Hawaii is Hawaiian, which, come on guys, boring, can be more creative than that. And Alaska is sex doll, for some reason. Again, Michigan with bondage. You guys really love your bondage up north. I don't know what to make of that. The top 20 countries by traffic. All right, this is where we get into the conspiracy theory. United States, more than twice the second country. I am not proud of that. The second country is Philippines. Why is this significant? Well, we saw earlier that Pine, or the short version of Filipina, is one of the highest searched terms. Why is the Philippines so high up on the list twice? That's cause for theory crafting. That's just a theory, a porn theory, followed by France, Mexico, the UK, generally unsurprising stuff. Sweden at the bottom of the list. Time spent per visit. Philippines, topping the list. Something's going on here. What's with the Philippines? Okay, apparently in the Philippines, according to Wikipedia at least, the pornography market in that country is kind of underground. But because it's so underground, it just makes people interact with it more and want it more. The hardcore pornography industry is non-existent in the Philippines, but such productions are subcontracted by foreign producers, including businessmen in the United States. United States near the bottom of this top list with 9 minutes 57 seconds. disappointing, guys. The top gaining categories last year were Korean, Japanese, mature, cartoon, cosplay. Categories viewed the longest, small tits. So I guess either it takes longer for you to finish, or we've just become really good at that. Brunette, double, hardcore. Categories viewed the shortest, feet. Oh my god. Like, everybody has their thing, but that was unexpected. Viewed the shortest 6 minutes compared to the 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes of small tits. So these are the things that will get you off the fastest, I guess. Okay, so for all of the homosexual fellas out there, I didn't really have room to include you in the last video. It would have been a very long video, but I wanted to include you here. The most searched for gay terms. Top of the list, twink. Second, anime. Pinoy, again at the top of the list. Asian, hentai, curious straight friends. Now, furry I expected to be at the top of the list because a lot of furry corn is gay corn. Just is. Not that I would know anything about that. Now, this is what is concerning for me personally. The most viewed gay categories. The first is straight guys. You know, something's not adding up here. Why would straight guys be the most viewed gay category? I think that calls into question a lot of gay corn being fantasies of turning straight guys gay. And I don't agree with that morally. I mean, I'm all for bi curiosity, but I guess it's a fantasy for a straight guy to turn gay. So, I don't know. We can break that down in the comments, but it is a little questionable. Respect everyone's sexuality, even if it's straight guys. Now, what's also interesting is at the very bottom of this most viewed list, up 3 points, is bear. Now, I'm no biologist. Viewed more by women compared to men. These categories had more women viewers than men viewers, or by comparison, a higher traffic of women's viewers. Number 1, scissoring. Yeah, obviously. Lesbian corn, we already established. Transgender. Wet ass P-word licking. Solo male. As a dude, I can confirm, was never watching solo male. So that makes sense. Rough sex at the bottom, still viewed more compared to men. I thought it would be the other way around, honestly. I thought rough sex was a huge turnoff for women. Obviously, I think it still is, but I'm surprised that even made this list. It's really interesting. The Philippines has a higher percentage of female visitors to male viewers. So not only is the Philippines always at the top of these lists, but it's mostly women. At least the only country on this entire list where they're the majority. Any Filipino viewers in the comments, if you have any insight, I'd love to know why all of these facts are lining up this way, because I don't have an answer, but I think it's super interesting. As you can see from this graph, the proportion of female visitors year over year has grown from 24% to 36% in less than 1 decade. Now, what really interests me is this 65 plus is 7% with a 1% increase. The country with the highest percentage of people over the age of 65 watching is Sweden. If you remember, Sweden was one of the countries with the lowest searched traffic overall. So it seems like it's less popular in Sweden overall, but more popular with older generations. The top categories by generation. Oh boy. This is going to be one massive self-report. Gen Z, 18 to 24, my generation, the proud. Number 1 is cosplay. Yeah, we sure love our Samus and our Bowsette cosplay. Number 2, hentai. Again, the top 2 categories are fictional characters. Interactive. What does that mean? What is interactive corn? I don't know. I don't want to know. The next category is smoking, which I thought would be the older generation getting more into. I guess in smoking is like a more taboo thing with our generation that it appeals more. Next, cartoon. Again, fictional. Feet, virtual reality. It's like, what happened with Gen Z? All of our categories got so skewed. Gen Y, which is 25 to 34, muscular men, tattooed women, roleplay, interactive, transgender. Sounds a lot like Vegas. A lot of Gen Y individuals in their Vegas phase, I suppose. Gen X, scissoring, vintage, fingering, strap-on, bukkake, fisting. Very out there search terms, very, very specific. Gen X has very specific tastes. Now the boomers, smoking, top category. Okay, at least that makes sense. 91.3% on their phone, 7.2% on desktop. I have never once searched for corn on my computer. Not once, except for doing this research, I guess. So that's not surprising at all. 1.5% on their tablet. If you're looking at corn on your tablet, you're just a dumbass. Usually tablets are like family tablets. Stop doing that. Traffic by OS. Mostly Android. Good. I've never had an Android. A little bit less by Apple, and then 0.2% is other. I wasn't aware there were other OSs out there, so 63% Windows. Shit. Most searched movies and characters. Any guesses at the most searched movie franchise? Give you a few more seconds. Yep, Star Wars. God damn it. Guys, I know Jar Jar Binks is sexy, but you gotta get off this shit. Number 2 is Harley Quinn herself. Top of the list. That is no surprise. Probably affected by the animated series. Game of Thrones next. Never seen it. Avatar corn. Harry Potter. I'm assuming we're talking about the later films. Wonder Woman, Black Widow, Catwoman, Elastigirl. Okay, typical. Now, midway through this list is Megan. That's actually disgusting, you guys. Deadpool? Dude, who's looking at Deadpool corn? What? It's probably just scenes from Deadpool. That's what it has to be, right? I don't know why The Incredibles is on this list. Elastigirl was already up there. Strange. Captain Marvel? Surprising. Batgirl, Magic Mike. Loki? Are you talking about Tom Hiddleston Loki or Sylvie Loki? Because let me just say, either one, I understand. Jane Foster, Gamora, Scarlet Witch. How many Marvel buffs are watching Cornhub? I guess a lot. Is there some kind of big overlap there? John Wick at the very bottom. You deserved better. Anyway, that was the entire 2023 year in review. Again, not gonna link to the full article, but it is very easy to find. It's just one quick Google search in the private tab. Anyway, TMI video coming very, very soon. It's gonna be a fun one.